should have put something like smooth jazz playing here while I wait for people to join the stream. But nobody's joining the stream. I'm live and there's nobody here. We're trying something different today. I went and shared the stream with a whole bunch of social media websites, but nobody listens to me on any of my social media websites. Kind of like home. So we'll see if anybody joins. I'll give it a minute. Hello, Mrs. Digital Jedi. You can say hey. There's nobody here, but this will be recorded and posted later.
Hey.
Those were the sounds of Mrs. Digital Jedi coming to you live from Jedi Temple 1. Stay tuned for Miranda's next album, Hello. Well, she'll be experimenting with longer formats. No one here yet. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll go ahead and get started anyway. It looks like there's one join, but that could just be my computer telling me that that's me looking at the preview. Well, in any event, greetings programs. This is Digital Jedi coming to you eponymously live from Jedi Temple 1. Welcome to another edition of Designing a Jedi with your host, the aforementioned Digital Jedi. I already mentioned that, didn't I? Thanks for joining, and if you're not joining, thanks for watching the recording of this posted to my account. If you are watching this live, go to my profile and you will find a playlist called Designing a Jedi, and you can watch all the previous live streams. If you're only finding this video by itself, you can find previous editions of Designing a Jedi there. So, oh wow, apparently my computer crashed yesterday, so these are recovered copies of what I was working on. Let's check the actual files. Only noticed that now. Since my computer was just sitting there, this could be the most recent copy, but it's always good to check to make sure. Let's put that on thumbnails. And that doesn't help because Photoshop doesn't do that anymore. There's an old recovered version. Channel art. Let's see. Yeah, both of these have the inks, so I think we're safe to pay no attention to the screaming Mimi in the background. Actually, I should be looking at this of these two are the two I should be comparing. Yeah, it looks like we're fine. I don't think I need this. I don't see anything here that is inherently different other than one of these layers over here is closed. Yeah, there's not much difference. Could you please stop screaming? I think we're fine. So for anyone new to watching this live stream, what I am doing is I'm designing my YouTube channel art live, like it says in the description, and you can watch my progress and my mistakes and my flip-flopping and my changing my mind, saying after hours and hours of work, I don't want to do it this way. You get to see all that as it happens. Exciting. The basic premise we're going for is we're using I'm coming up with a representation of myself, only when I've been working out. And this representation will be me as a Jedi. I started out with just trying to do a generic Jedi design, and I wasn't happy with the costume. So I ended up embracing the name Digital Jedi and using my other favorite franchise that now Disney both ironically owns, Tron. So a Digital Jedi would be a Tron Jedi. That makes total sense to me. So I don't know why I didn't think of it when I first came up with the screen name 12 years ago. Was it 12? Might have been 15 years ago. I've had the name for a while. It only came to me now. I don't know why. So some of the things we've got already in place is we just did the inks. So yeah, I think other than a few minor details that need to be inked, we'll move on to the whites next. The whites would be the white glows. Let's just fill in some of this background area here. Just some basic line work. I might not even need to use the pen tool for this. Double check my brush. What brush am I using? Nope, not a good one for inking. I think I'll just fill this in manually. It's not where I want it anyway. Such a minor detail, but I was going to go higher, but I'll just leave it alone. This area over here has been bugging me, but I'm thinking I'm just going to let it be. What we're going to do now is going to go to the old glow accents layer. This was from the old art that I was working on, and when I came up with the idea to do a Tron-inspired Jedi, I tried to make it work within the artwork I had at the time, and it wasn't working. So instead, I went and I designed a character model sheet of me and I worked on the costume then and there. And now I'm applying that design to the actual artwork. I even redrew this Jedi for the most part, so a lot changed. Let's hide those paths so that I can clear this layer, which I have a shortcut to do that. Save. And we're going to use the pen tool again. I'm going to call let's name this one. And I'm going to create a separate path area. If it'll go up there. Previous viewers of this live stream may know that my pen tool and working with certain tools in Photoshop makes my just makes Photoshop stick, and I can't unstick it unless I switch windows. I switch them really quick, and it unfreezes. So it's just an annoyance that we'll have to deal with. It does it most of the time, but every so often it'll be nice to me. Today it doesn't look like it's going to be nice to me. Alright, so I might go with more squared edges here. It won't drag out the handlebars. I don't want to move the whole thing. Switch to my other arrow tool. And we're not going to stroke these, we're going to fill the path rather than stroke the path. With white, I'm going to fill it with white. Okay, and of course you can see a little bit of the glow effect that I already have on there from working on it previously. I'll need to match that up to the lightsaber design that I did because it's going to use that same glow effect. Please ignore the screaming Mimi in the background. Somebody doesn't do well during hurricane season. I might go ahead and keep that, even though it's going to overlap a little bit. We'll just we'll add a layer mask later over here that covers the glow, because the glow is going to leak around the thumb if I erase it, and we don't want that. We want it to look like it's behind the thumb and not part of the, and not like the thumb is part of its shape. Yesterday we sussed out that it only sticks when I use the Alt key, which is the fastest way to use it. Fastest way to toggle between the pen tool and the arrow tool is to hold down the Alt key, but see, it turns into this black arrow, which is usually associated with the move tool, and it doesn't go away. I don't know what that is. Whoa, stop spinning. Let's do that differently. Let's get some the handlebars in that one. Probably should have. You know what? Let's. Whoops, too far. I'm gonna do that. So at least one of those corners is sharp. And then drag out the handlebars here. Let's put one here. Let's trace the outline of this, because it's not gonna do it for me. It's too curved. Make it a solid shape. Please stop. Just do that part. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that is annoying. Better. And we'll use the shape tool over here to make a circle. I don't want it that squat. Very loosely sketched it. It could be any size here, but we'll go with that. All right. Control C, Control V, Control T. What it does, I copied the path, pasted the path, and now I'm reducing the size of the path so that I can get that little circle in the middle perfectly symmetrical, or proportional rather. We'll drop it a little bit. Let's go ahead and apply it. We'll reposition it a little bit. Where's my arrow key? Just a little bit. Yep, sometimes kids are noisy. And what we want to do is we want to make sure this, I don't think that's going to fill the way I want it to, so we have to deselect and make sure this one is set to subtract front shape, and make sure it is in the front. And then I think, you watched the last live streams, you remember I struggled with that a bit. Yeah, but I think I got it down. Just ignore that. Go away. Okay, now for the mock lightsaber on my chest plate. And this is another one where we'll want it to look like it's behind something. In this case, my chin. So we'll go ahead and loop the whole shape out. And use a layer mask to cover over the glows later. If you use a layer mask and you set the layer mask to in the I forgot what the layers attribute setting, the layer style, you can set the mask to mask out effects rather than act like it's shaping the effect. But I'll show you that when we get to that. Let's close this layer here. Might need to go back and pencil in some detail if the glows don't reach all the way to the edge of these black lines. Because they probably don't. They'll need to be fixed later. And the other glow, still not quite sure how to interpret that glow on the forearm here, but I'll probably just do a basic line. Probably just basically trace this line. Probably should have dropped a handlebar there, but sometimes even the keys stop working. Shortcuts are great when they work. Something like that. Shit, you know what? Give me a harder edged eraser brush here. Whoops. Maybe something more like that. We'll see. Let's do this knee over here, which I guess I decided to do the triangle. I remember I wasn't totally sold on exactly what I wanted the lights on the knee to look like. I had circles in one picture. Need to flesh that whole shape out. Oh, don't move the whole thing. Gosh darn it. Ote. Yeah, I wanted to add that before I added the colors because I was just going to have to close the colors layers to even see, and reopen the pencils layer to even see that. Oh, I forgot to ink my hand over here. Slight oversight. Make that a little bit thicker. Okay. A lot of times I would do this as one contiguous line, but just notice it doesn't feel as natural if you do it as one ongoing shape all the way around, because Photoshop will just simulate pressure at the beginning and end of the brush stroke, and odds are your hand is not going to be that precise, so it ends up looking a little unnatural. So I'm going with piecing, short paths, stroking very short paths, more akin to what you would do if you were doing it by hand. I guess I'm going to have to get used to just doing this, to switching between the P. Oh, wow. The P and the A key are far away from each other. That's probably why I put them. Why I use the control key in the first place. Oh well. Since these hands are gloved, we'll probably come back and use a thanks, dude. I almost didn't see that. No one ever leaves a comment in the chat here. Well, hardly ever. I don't know if I'll loop that in. I guess I will, and then I'll decide if I like it. Or if I will decide that it's not worth fussing over it. This whole thing is going to probably be black, and I'll have to go over it with go over the line work with on a, what is that layer called again? It's called, I forget what it's called. It's when you do that, what I just did. You won't be able to see if you're looking at the saved version of this when it's posted, but Watchtower Database just said, "Them fingers so handsome." Indeed, indeed they are. I don't know what's going on with this corner over here. Probably be some closer to this, maybe? You know, sometimes... Whoa. Why would I ever need the picture to be that small? This... Just, yeah, there's more we can do there, but I'll probably... Sometimes I just don't want to mess with the fists for too long. But who doesn't really? Alright, we'll come back to it. I think I already laid out in lightsaber stuff what I want the lightsaber to look like. So I guess we'll just get to coloring next. Let's close some of these areas. Let's close that template area and the pencils. You know that's going to be a problem, right? Yeah, you know that. Fudge it. We'll deal with it later. Here's the old colors, and they don't fit, and they were oogly. So we're going to do something else. Yeah, let's just rename that. Keep that for posterity's sake. And we'll create new colors. Colors. Color. That old song. That looks weird. Alright, so let's reopen my template. Wherever it is. There it is. Yeah, we're going to go with... because we worked hard on these grays, so we're going to use these grays. Hopefully there's no leaks here. That's not what I mean. Am I still on that layer? Expand pixels, fill. I have boots, right? I have boots on? I don't have boots on. That aren't separate. Put them on the same layer. Whoops. Did you forget to... No, we expanded pixels. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the paths out of there. It's fudging the look. And... let's pick. I think I used a very particular type of black. I think I used perfectly jet black for that, but I don't remember. Is it perfectly jet black? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Never mind. Let's create a new layer. Actually use your shortcut key. Hey, you actually remembered. And I think the arms are a different color than the pants. I don't really remember. No? I went with two-tone. That makes sense, though. We'll have to do a little prepping for this one, though. Let's close this template layer one more time. Since I have these leaks over here and I don't want to pencil in. This will be covered over with the lightsaber. So we'll just... And that way we can select and fill. And I guess I'll go ahead and name those just in case. Pants. What? Tunic? And I should just be using the shift key. Pants, tunic, and sleeves, arms. Oh yes, I do have a face, so let's go to the face. Somebody else's color palette. I'm not saying whose, but it's someone else's. I really should come up with my own custom color palette. I don't know what the base colors would be. That's sort of me. Let me adjust that a little bit. Because, I may not get much sun, but I am Hispanic. There's some melanin in there. Why do I have blending options open? Just a little less pale than that. Yeah. Close enough. And, yesterday I was thinking about using the old hair design, but what did I do for the, in the template? Did I just use solid black? Yeah, I did. And for some reason it looks better here than it does there. I don't know why. Well, let's experiment. You're on the wrong layer? What's going on? Oh, that's Eraser. Dingleberry. And the layer's closed for no apparent reason. Now, we filled this with black yesterday, and for some reason it didn't look right. Probably because these are not, I don't know, these aren't distinct like they are in the other picture. So I don't know if it really looks like hair. Maybe it sort of kind of does. Well, for now. Yeah, maybe I can take some time when I'm not on a live stream to experiment with that really time-consuming stuff. Like I said, we'll make this stand out from the front later. Oh, actually, I've colored that wrong. Forgot the gloves are different. So this must have leaked out when I did the tunic. Ah, yeah. I didn't do that line. Let's go ahead and do that line. I guess we'll just draw it in, maybe? A little bit of jaggedness here, but it doesn't seem to be an issue with the magic wand tool. There's some areas where it leaked. Was is this? I don't know what that is. Okay. So what we want is this color in these areas here. And I guess since the arm area... Uh-oh. What layer did you just put that on? The wrong layer. And let me just delete it from the arms layer. from the tunic layer. Alright. And we can open the glows to see how that's looking so far. Not horrible. Better than I had originally intended. I see that I didn't, oh, yes I did. Didn't I? I don't even remember. No, I didn't ink out the etchings on the side of my tunic, so we're gonna have to reopen the pencils there. And that's why we put the colors in a folder. Knew I was forgetting something. Let's go back to the Jedi layer. Make sure that you are on the inks layer, for God's sakes. Oh. Didn't think that looked very black. I noticed it didn't freeze till I released control. I'm gonna figure this out. One way or another, I'm gonna figure out why control makes it freeze like this. It's a bit too much pen pressure. Let's thin that out a little bit. Why does it disappear like that? When I use my shortcut tool, it sometimes vanishes. No telling. That could be a little sharper, but feh. All right. Excuse me 1 sec. It sounds like my daughter is chewing on furniture again. Some kids like to break stuff. Mine likes to eat stuff. That's not edible. I have a strange life. All right. Oh, what am I looking at here? Isn't that an old line that I erased? How'd that get back here? Did I? I wonder if I. No, that was in another part of the painting. I don't know how that got there. All right, let's do the layer thingy that I mentioned earlier, which I've completely forgotten what it's called. What is it? Adjustment layer? What is it called? Is clipping layer? Maybe something like that. I think it's clipping layer. I don't remember. And we used a slightly lighter gray for that. That was the third color. I knew there was a third color in there. We used a much lighter gray for those areas. So and since I'm not entirely sure where I put them, I will reactivate the paths so I can see where these need to be. I don't think I made any of these upper ones visible. There's no strokes there, so probably not. If you can hear that questionable banging noise in the background, that is my neighbor's washing machine, and not what it sounds like. She overfills her machine. Yeah, I forgot that's going to be gray, not black, so I can do more detail on that fist. I'll probably freehand it. What's this here? Sure, I'm encountering a lot of artifacts that I don't remember. Save, Mark. Save. Gosh dang it. Am I leaving anything out? Oh, wait. Wow. You know what? There is a lot of sunlight shining in the room right now, and I'm just not seeing certain colors when I look at them. That is definitely black. There's a backlight behind my computer, and I'm just... We'll just... What's going on here? Sample all layers. Why are you sampling that? Oh, there must be... Tolerance must be too high. Oops. What's going on with the program error? That's not a good sign, so I better remember to save everything. It's a bit better. Alright, let's open lightsaber stuff. Can't see the lightsaber right now because of the white background, but we're going to go with a Tron grid-like background, which that's going to be fun. That'll be several episodes, folks. What should we do next? Shading? Should I do shading when I can't half see the screen? We'll just do some minor detail since we're approaching the 45-minute mark. Exactly. I'll do some of that that masking that I need to do. Let's see. So we add a mask to the glow layer. Not two masks. Jeez. Calm the frick down. And let's open it up. Layer mask hides effects. And then we can do stuff like we can select the whole skin layer and just fill that selection. Well, you actually want to be on the mask and not on the art layer, and just fill out selection with black, and there you go. And we can refine it a little bit. Let's go to the inks layer. Select that and actually have it. Are we on the, yeah, and actually just do black in that area, and then you won't have the glow overlay. Looks like it's freezing even when working with the selection tool. And we'll do the same over here. Yeah, we have a few areas over here that we need to do that too. Let's reselect the inks. I love that phrasing. Oh, we don't want all the ink. And we can just do that freehand. Wow, it is sticking a lot now. Oh yeah, we need to do a lot more here. And this is all being done on the layer mask itself, so it's just gonna, we're just hiding the effects. We're not actually coloring in any color. We're just putting black on the layer mask. Just slightly rounder brush so I can have more control here. And then you can just go looking for any of those glows where you don't want them showing and just color over it. I think those are the only two overlaps. Anything in front of the glows, you don't want the glows showing like they're part of that shape. You want them behind the object. Unless it's a really, really, really bright object, then you'll have some glare. And in this case, we're going to go back to the actual art layer and fill in some of these areas. You can even reselect the inks layer, so I have a little guide to work with. Looks like reactivating my selection tool is causing it to freeze as well. Interesting. I actually sort of like the line work there. Happy accident. I think I'll leave that be for now, even if it isn't consistent with the other stuff. Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that either. What is that? See, 49 minutes. I usually do this for an hour, so I guess I can do a couple other things. Let's reuse. I'm going to reuse my soft light layer, but let's get rid of the old shading and do new. I like to shade with soft light. Mostly black. And you can use white too for highlights, but since I'm doing a type of cell shading deal, actually. That would be inconsistent with where my major light source is, which is my lightsaber. So, sometimes shading comes to me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that looks good. And then sometimes I'll just have to go back over and over and over again. It's not like when I deal with the color flats. I can hit a color flat and say, yeah, that's what I want. But this shading seems more subjective. So, but we'll... Gonna have probably have a few light sources here. We're doing the cartoony stuff, so no highlights or not too many highlights, depending on the circumstances. And before I add my backgrounds, I'll need to like select all the white around here, because this black's gonna show over the background. I'll just select all the white and exit out later. Yeah, no. Wow. And that's why I was never an inker before the digital stuff, because my hand is about as steady as Gene Wilder's hand was in Blazing Saddles. And I'm talking about the one he shoots with. In fact, my hand will be so unsteady sometimes when I'm doing some of this. I might lighten this shading a little bit. Some of the stuff, I will end up coming back with the pen tool and redoing it all. A lot of times, this is just experimentation, because I want it to look smoother than how my hand can get it. Yeah, it's a little too dark right there. Lighten that a bit. Of course, it might still be too dark, and the bright light coming from behind my computer screen here is blinding me. I'm indoors. I shouldn't be getting this much sunlight. There's a reason I have blinds. You'd think introversion would limit the amount of sunlight you'd get. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. Alright, obviously I will want to sharpen this up a little bit, but I won't do that on this stream. Probably when I get to the final touching up stages, I won't stream all that, because it will be time consuming and I probably won't want to talk a lot while I'm doing it. Not that I have to talk, and this is, you know. Let's fudge with the lightsaber stuff a little bit. since I may want to adjust that, I'll just add a mask that's not linked and select the arms layer. And make sure that you're on the mask. Yeah. Okay. So what would I be doing wrong? Nobody asked you. Why am I getting all white? Oh. Your lightsaber. The pommel goes all the way back behind it. So now that's something we can probably actually erase. But we won't, because we'll need the glow effect to not cut off prematurely. I think we'll have to finagle with the glow effect a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to mask it out, because I think I'll need it for later. Mask the hole all the way back to the back of the hilt. Otherwise, the whole thing will be glowing when I add a background. But yeah, I'm just gonna save it just in case, because I think there's a thing I do when I deal with the glow at the end of the lightsaber. I'm just forgetting what off the top of my head. Can I have the ink layer selected, please? Thank you. Don't need it. Never mind. And oh yeah, some of the lightsaber shows in front of the hand. You dingleberry. So I'm experimenting with the settings a bit here on YouTube. I turned it down to ultra low latency. I didn't realize I had those settings. I didn't realize I had those settings, so I turned it down to ultra low latency so that there wouldn't be as much delay. Hopefully on your end to be closer to real time. And you won't be able to do like 1440p or anything like that, but or 4K. But really, what kind of honking resources do you have where you can stream at 1440p and 4K? I'm a poor person. Or at the very least, lower middle class. Like way lower middle class. Just get a look at that without the Yeah, it's not looking too bad. So the last thing I'll do here is I'll close lightsaber stuff, select all this white, and delete it from the soft light layer. Yeah, I think that'll work. We might need to do more work on that lightsaber. I think the angle is a little, it's not, the perspective is off. It needs to be angled more forward. But we will fix that in another live stream. But yeah, you know, we's getting there. We's almost on it, May. So yeah, we'll do that. And I'll open this here. Not that. This. So, thanks again for joining and watching the re-recording, whatever it is you was doing of designing a Jedi. I shared this to a whole bunch of social media sites, and I still only got 1 view. But that's cool. People are watching the re-recording, so it's working out. Appreciate everyone that joined. Once again, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you know when this stuff goes live, and check out my channel so that you can actually see what I normally do, which is reaction videos, movies, trailers, TV shows, actual TV shows, TV trailers, movie reviews, TV reviews, nostalgia reviews, weird stuff that I'm working on that's going to come out. Subscribe, because you will definitely see videos. But I appreciate everyone who came in, and I will theoretically be on tomorrow, and at this rate I should be on tomorrow sometime around midnight. But theoretically it'll be 4 or 5. That seems to be the trend that I'm following. Glad everyone that could watch did watch, and I'll see you guys next time. This Digital Jedi saying peace out. See you on the grid.